Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at what happens when absolute power meets absolute helplessness.
Yeah, we're jumping into the ancient court of Baekje.
And specifically at one man, Min-Jun, the High Minister of War. The sources paint a picture of a man who saw power as, well, the ultimate currency.
Oh, absolutely. For him, everything was a transaction. He could shatter armies, depose kings.
He could even dictate the flow of a river. That's the level of control we're talking about.
Exactly. So our mission here is to watch this man who controls literally everything find himself completely defeated by his son's illness.
A foe he just can't beat with iron and strategy.
Right. The crisis hits and it's deeply personal. His son has a fever and Min-Jun is just helpless.
And the sources describe the fever as a phantom, subtle, and relentless. It's not an army he can just crush.
And this whole situation immediately exposes the cracks in his perfectly structured life, starting with his marriage to Lady Mei-hua.
Who was also trying to save the child. But their relationship, it was never about love, was it?
Not at all. The texts are very clear, purely contractual.
Yeah.
I mean, his entire family structure was a tactical move to preserve the bloodline. It's cold.
It's incredibly cold. And then you have the failure of intellect, which is maybe the most shocking part.
Right, because Lady Mei-hua isn't just a mother, she's a brilliant physician. The finest mind in Baekje, they called her.
So she represents the pinnacle of knowledge, of science.
And she is working day and night. The sources talk about her scientific desperation. She's using every tonic, every state-of-the-art method available.
And so she hits a wall.
A hard wall, the latest tonic. It barely even reached the child's stomach. That's the moment her own intellectual arrogance just cracks wide open.
And Min-Jun, he can't accept it. He demands she find a solution.
He does. He says, "You are the finest mind in this state." And her response is just devastating.
She says, I am. That is why I know my limits.
And this is past them. I mean,
Yeah.
Can you imagine? She's essentially telling him, I'm smart enough to know that we are completely and utterly beaten.
So in that one moment, both of his pillars, force and intellect, they just crumble.
They're gone. Utterly useless.
So what's left? I mean, with material power and science totally exhausted, where does a man like that turn?
Well, he's forced down the one path he would never have chosen, a turn to divine power.
And here's the real kicker, right? This isn't some high priest or a state-sanctioned shaman.
No, and that's the beautiful irony of it all. The divine power he needs belongs to a servant in his own household named Adarija.
A servant.
A simple servant. The most powerful man in Baekje, a man who defines life by what he can control and purchase, is now completely dependent on the lowest member of his society.
Someone totally outside his system of value.
Complete.
The contradiction is just so profound. Min-Jun's power was absolute, but his control stopped cold at the threshold of life and death.
Exactly. His whole reality, this entire metric he built based on might and strategy, it just got replaced overnight.
And replaced by a reliance on the one thing he always overlooked. Faith.
And not just any faith, but faith found in the most unassuming person imaginable. It suggests that, true helplessness forces you to look for power outside of your own carefully constructed system.
So here's the final thought for you to take away. If you define your life purely by currency and strategy, how catastrophic is it when the only solution requires a completely different kind of faith?
And what unexpected sources of power, what Adarijas might you be overlooking in your own life?